This morning I had this reflection. When mercy of the Guru comes into our heart, it manifests naturally as a deep realization of the higher plane of existence. And I was imagining, it's imagination, but to be tested to the point of wanting to doubt the Lord. And I put this doubt to my right and the shelter of my Guru to my left. And I was thinking, how can I give up the shelter of my Guru? Because through him, I see, I hear, I can think, I can exist, and I can act. So I looked at the doubt and I told him, unfortunately, this doubt, which power do you have? Can you really exist? You understand? But this must come from a deep realization. Krishna is just like a lotus, like a blue lotus. What does it mean? It means that he is beautiful. It means that also he smells good. And this fragrance, we can smell it through the spiritual senses in a way, in different ways. We can smell through, we can smell through the eyes the beauty of Krishna. We can hear this fragrance. We can smell it. We can hear it through the ears. We can see it through the eyes. We can smell it through the nose. The residence of Braj can be absorbed in Krishna in such a beautiful way because there is love. You know why Krishna, he gives himself like that? Why he reveals himself like that? Because they exist for him. And because Krishna, he must fulfill all desires. The more the devotee tastes Krishna, the more the desire is particular. The more they want to give themselves to him. And the more Krishna desires to give himself to them. It's a world that is miraculous, wonderful. Because only in this world can love exist fully. This is why the one who has a realization of Vrindavan, how could he abandon this realization? Even if Krishna momentarily leaves him, so of course, the one who did not receive this realization, he can reject the spiritual master. We can see even people who were amongst us in the past, they rejected us and they're not here anymore. They don't chant anymore. Even some of them can eat meat again. I saw two ancient ones pass through my window yesterday. Two ancient devotees, older devotees who are not there anymore. But why? Because they did not see Krishna. Although they will come in this place, they were not able to see Krishna. Why? Because there's no surrender. They live for themselves, not for Krishna. Even they've been living here for 10, 15 years, they never saw Krishna because they come for them. They gave for them. Their sacrifice is not deep enough. And this is why Krishna does not come into their heart. Because Krishna When he comes, he needs a complete sacrifice. He cannot live in a heart where there's no sacrifices. And then from there, what's happening? The person finds it's himself in a terrible feeling. That person knows that the material world has nothing to offer him, but because he's not abandoned, Krishna cannot come yet. We must analyze our suffering, our distress. It is for whom? For whom do we cry? We will have our answer. We cry for illusion, but not for Krishna. Why Krishna will come? Why will Krishna come and capture us? We want something else. Krishna does not ask for complete love. He asks first for surrender. And after, once we sacrificed everything for him, he observes. This is the nature, Krishna's nature. Will he come back? Will he backtrack? Or is he doing it really for me? It's not so simple to obtain the origin of everything. You're not at the supermarket. We're not dealing with someone small. Krishna observes. Right now, he observes you. He sees if your love is really sincere. But if your love does not move, despite the obstacles, one day he will come. And when he will come, then we'll forget everything about the material world. Friends, brothers, children, houses, everything. All the problems of your existence will be solved. You will be able to understand what is love. And you'll never be able to look at the material world anymore. You'll never be able to attach yourself to a living being in this world. It will be finished after that. This is why it's not so easy to see Krishna. Krishna observes you. Krishna knows your attachments, your illusions. He knows everything. But he will never force anybody. This is the nature of the Lord. It must come from you. It's not easy. It's not easy because when Krishna is not there, then we forget him. We can't for 10 years do austerities, 15 years, but little by little we start to let go. It's very subtle. Start to reject Krishna. That's why Krishna explains that it is rare. Rupa Goswami says to obtain Krishna is rare because we need a determination which is really obstacle proof. That's you. It's you that I want and nothing else, no one else. For example, I was speaking today with a person who was telling me that she liked a person of this world, and she's waiting for the last 25 years for him to come. So that's a lot of suffering. And finally, these two persons, they love each other without being able to be together. This is the nature of this world. But if we could have the same determination for Krishna, the result will be different. It's that we could go back to Krishna and attain Krishna
Alors une
for
fois qu'on va
eternity.
dans cette demeure,
Because once we
il n'y
go
a
into
plus de
this
mouvement.
abode,
C'est ce qui s'appelle
never
la
do we
paix.
come back anymore.
C'est pourquoi
This is why
vous pouvez
you
avoir
can
des
have
devoirs
duties,
prescrits,
prescribed
que ce
duties,
soit pour les sannyasis,
whether it is for sannyasis,
les renonçants, les grihastas,
renunciants,
ceux qui sont
grihastas,
mariés.
those who are married.
Mais votre but,
But your
ça
goal,
devrait être
it should be
d'agir,
to
de
act,
respirer,
to
de
breathe,
regarder
to
pour
look
lui.
for Him.
Parce que tout ce que vous
Because
avez en ce
everything you
moment
have in this world
disparaîtra du jour au
will
lendemain.
disappear at the time of death.
Vous y croyez pas?
You don't believe that this?
À quoi sert
What
de faire
is
un devoir
what is the use of
si on
duties of
remplace
loving
la
people
réalité
if
par
we
l'illusion?
replace reality with
Que va
illusion?
apporter l'illusion?
What will illusion bring
L'illusion,
to
ça
you?
veut dire qu'à un moment,
Illusion means at one
tout
point
disparaît, même le
everything
souffle de vie.
disappears, even the remembrance
Tous les êtres,
of your life.
par
All living
exemple,
beings,
il
for
y a des
example,
milliards d'années,
there are
on ne se
billions.
souvient pas des personnes. On peut
We've
se
been
souvenir
here.
de quelques personnes il y a quelques
We've
milliers d'années.
we've been here for billions of years,
Et
but we
ça, c'est
don't
des
remember
personnes
everyone we
extraordinaires.
met before.
Par exemple, il y a
For
500
example,
ans,
500 years ago,
qui habitait
who
Rouen, peu importe si ça existait.
who was living? Maybe the
Est-ce
city here did not exist
existait
500
vraiment?
years ago. Yes, yeah, it existed.
Est-ce qu'on se rappelle de toutes les
Do we
familles
remember
qui
all
sont incroyables?
families who were
On n'a
living
même
here?
pas connaissance
We
des
don't.
personnes qu'il y a en ce moment.
We're not even aware of everyone who is living here right now in
Tout
this
sera
town.
effacé.
Everyone will disappear. Everyone will be
Donc,
erased.
pourquoi
So why
miser sur quelque chose qui
putting
va disparaître?
your
Ça,
trust
c'est
on something
illusion.
that will disappear? This is
On
illusion.
devrait plutôt faire
We
notre
should
devoir
rather do our
pour
duty
Krishna.
for Krishna.
Parce que si on le fait pour
Because if we
Krishna,
do it for
Krishna va
Krishna,
apparaître dans
Krishna
notre
will
vie
appear
en
in our
proportion
life in
qu'on
proportion
agit pour lui.
to how
Et c'est
much we
quelque
act
chose qui est
for Him.
important.
This is something
À
that is
partir de là,
important.
qu'est-ce qui va se
And
passer?
from there, what will
On
happen?
agit pour Krishna.
When we act for
Krishna est
Krishna,
obligé de réciproquer.
Krishna is obliged to reciprocate.
On va avoir une
We will
réalisation sur
have a
Krishna.
realization about Krishna.
Et une fois qu'on aura même une
And
réalisation,
once we have only one, even one, just
on
one
sera
realization will be protected.
parce que tout sera trop petit.
Because everything will be too small.
Et toute notre vie,
And all our life,
on cherchera Krishna.
we will look for Krishna.
Toute notre vie.
All our life,
On trouvera personne
we will find
qui peut le
nobody
remplacer.
who can replace Him.
Même une toute petite réalisation,
Even
minuscule,
just
même
a
une ombre de réalisation,
minute, a shadow of a realization,
même
even
l'imagination de
just
Krishna.
imagination of
Je
Krishna.
dirais même
I would say
l'imagination,
even
c'est
the
pas
imagination of Krishna. If you imagine Krishna and you chant the holy names, even if this imagination is there, the holy name can reciprocate with the imagination. You will never be able to find something higher than this, even your imagination of Krishna. You will find yourself somewhere with people around you. You will only have a few minutes to live. What will you do at this time on your deathbed? Will you continue to invest in this world? Would it be too late already? It will just come to you. It's just a question of time. Anagamandri, how old are you? It's fast, no? You don't even have half of your life left. Can you believe it? It will just be like a flash. This is why we must be serious. We must do our duty for Krishna and prepare our coming back, home back to Godhead. Because now we must cultivate. We must cultivate this remembrance. It's really important. Cultivate. There are those who cultivate the remembrance because they saw Krishna and they feel separation. And those who cultivate remembrance because they understand that this is the goal of existence. But this is good also. One is natural because when we saw Krishna, we cannot stop thinking about Him. But when we think about Him, there's naturally spiritual ecstasy,
et
and
naturellement
naturally
la séparation. Et quand on se sent
separation.
séparé de Krishna,
Because when we feel
alors Krishna
separated from
devient très
Krishna, so Krishna comes very close. It becomes very
Et
close.
Krishna est aussi dans le souvenir de
But
ses
Krishna is also in this
Et vous
in
vous
the
souvenez de lui et
remembrance
vous le priez,
of his
il est
pastimes.
aussi
If you
présent.
remember him, if you pray him, to
C'est
him,
pourquoi
he'll also be present. This is why
on devrait
we should
véritablement avoir une
truly
vie spirituelle
have
sérieuse,
a serious spiritual
peu
life,
importe la
no
situation,
matter our situation.
dans toutes les
In all
circonstances, on doit
circumstances,
se rappeler de lui.
we should remember him.
Mais n'oubliez jamais,
But never forget,
le test final,
the final test will come.
et c'est la
And
conscience
this is the
que l'on a au
consciousness
moment de la mort.
that we have at the time of death.
C'est le moment, la
It is the
conscience qu'on a au
moment,
moment de la mort,
the consciousness at the time of death, that gives us our direction in our next life, our destination.
Donc, si vous pensez
So if
être
you
un être
think,
humain,
being a
vous
human
prendrez
being,
naissance en tant
you will
qu'être
take
humain.
birth as a human being.
Si vous pensez être
If
un
you
associé
think,
du Seigneur,
being an
vous aurez
associate of the
la
Lord,
place
you will
à côté
have
du Seigneur.
your place next
Mais
to
vous
the
ne pourrez
Lord.
pas, au moment de la
But
mort,
you will not be able at the time of death
choisir. Parce
to
que c'est
choose,
l'attachement que vous aurez dans
because
votre cœur
the
qui
attachment you have in your heart will
Donc,
appear
en
at the
mort, c'est
time
pas
of death.
possible de faire
At the time of
rien.
death,
Vous
it
serez
is not
comme
possible to try to
vous
change
allez
our
être
thoughts.
terrassé par la mort.
You will be
Tous les airs sexuels
shocked
en
by
vous,
that.
etc.
All the vital
C'est
airs in your
votre
body, they
conscience
squeeze
qui
you.
va vous
Your
extirper et vous
consciousness
faire
will
ressentir la
either
souffrance.
make you feel suffering or make you free yourself from this illusion.
Tout le monde va
Everyone
connaître ça.
will know this.
Les enfants, ça se trouve, ils sont
Children,
programmés aussi pour pas vivre très vieux.
they are
Parce que
programmed
c'est
maybe not
karma.
to live long time because this is karma.
Il y a cette histoire de cet enfant
There's
qui
the
s'est
story of this child
noyé quand
who
Narayana Maharaj était
drowned
Et Narayana Maharaj avait
when
été
Naran
très
Maharaj
triste.
was there, and Naran
Il
Maharaj
restait
said
très
that
peu pour
that
atteindre
that
Krishna.
child had
Et sa
very
mère avait fait
little
un
time
rêve
to attain Krishna, and
son fils, en fait, ou sa fille,
his mother had a dream that
à Vrindavan.
her son was a cowherd boy in Vrindavan.
Bon, ça, c'est un cas exceptionnel.
So this is an exceptional case,
Mais ne pensez pas,
but don't think
vous n'aurez pas plus de conscience
you
au moment
won't
de la mort.
have more consciousness at the time of
Tous
death.
vos attachements
All
peuvent
your
réapparaître.
attachments will reappear.
À qui vous êtes attaché en
To
ce moment?
whom are you attached now?
C'est ça qui va réapparaître.
This is what
Si
will
vous êtes
reappear.
attaché à une femme, vous
If
allez
you're
reprendre le
attached
corps
to
d'une femme,
a
un
lady,
homme, un homme,
you'll
etc.,
become
etc., ou
you'll
un
take the
chien, un
body of a
chat.
lady or a
C'est la
dog or
conscience avec
a
laquelle
cat or a man.
on quitte
It's the
le corps
consciousness by which we leave the body that
C'est
gives
ça,
us
c'est
a
ce qu'explique le
destination.
Bhagavatam.
This is what Bhagavatam explains.
C'est pas si simple.
It's not so simple.
Par contre, si on a
But,
cultivé notre
however,
relation avec Krishna,
if we cultivated our relationship with Krishna, so even at the time of death, Krishna can awake our relationship with him because Krishna comes to take his devotee. Do not think that when Krishna comes to take his devotee, it does not happen without spiritual realization. You must obtain your consciousness, your real consciousness. Unless you know who you are in the transcendent world, it's not sure you will attain perfection. So if at the time of death you want to be with Krishna, Krishna will come to pick you up, and then you will realize who you are. But why waiting the time of death to be serious? Why not realizing it before? There's the story with Gaur Govinda Maharaj. He had a disciple that was taking care of cows. She was really attached to the calves, and she had to leave her body, the disciple. She took birth. She took birth in the heavenly planets as a cow in her next life, because since she did not attain perfection, but she was attached to cows, she was able to have this position of a cow in the heavenly planets. And Gaur Govinda Maharaj, he said that she was not able to recognize her guru. Do not think
votre objet d'attachement
your
deviendra
objective
votre
attachment
direction.
will become your direction.
C'est pour ça, si
This
vous
is why,
savez,
if you know,
le cycle de la
the
réincarnation,
cycle
c'est
of
simplement
reincarnation is
le
simply
Seigneur comble les désirs.
the Lord who fulfills the desires.
Si vous êtes attaché à
If
une
you're
femme,
attached to a lady, a
cette
woman,
forme vous sera donnée
this form will be given to you
pour pouvoir l'expérimenter
to
et vous en
experience
détacher.
and detach yourself from it.
Il faut lire, il faut étudier,
We must read, we must study
et pas se faire une conception.
to not have a conception.
Pourquoi les dévots, ils étudient pas?
Why devotees, they don't study?
Hein? Pourquoi ils passent des semaines sans ouvrir un livre?
Why they spend weeks without opening a book?
Ils passent des heures
They spend hours
à écouter n'importe quoi.
listening to anything.
Qu'est-ce que ça donnera au moment de la mort?
What will it give at the time of death?
Si vous préférez regarder
If you prefer
Picsou,
to look Picsou, that's a cartoon.
ça paraît drôle,
It looks funny,
c'est pas si simple.
but it's not so simple.
C'est comme l'histoire du gars qui va
It's
à
like the
l'église,
story of the man
et son
who
truc préféré, c'est le match de football.
he goes to the
Il va
church,
chercher
but his favorite thing is football.
il est vraiment réveillé,
When it's football time, he's really awake. He jumps everywhere. He's really
mais
absorbed.
il le fait
But when he goes to the church, he's bored. But he does it because it's tradition,
quelque chose.
because he's engaged in
C'est sa
something.
famille,
This is his
c'est sa façon
family.
de
It's
vivre.
his way of living.
Mais il perd le goût graduellement.
But he loses the taste gradually.
Il peut pas arrêter.
He cannot
Parce que
stop
sa femme est comme ça, ses
because
enfants, c'est comme
his
ça,
wife
sa
is
femme,
like this, his children are like this, his whole family.
On peut obtenir
We
Krishna,
can
on peut
obtain
progresser.
Krishna. We can progress. There's a method.
Tout nous est donné
Everything is given to us
gratuitement.
freely.
Après, il faut acheter un livre.
After we need to buy a book,
C'est gratuit.
but it's
C'est pas
free.
ces arnaqueurs qui
It's
vont
not
payer
these
tellement
cheaters who
d'argent
make you
pour
pay so
avoir
much
ça.
money to get to receive
C'est
knowledge.
le prix du papier.
It just costs the price of the paper.
Le mantra est donné.
The mantra is given freely.
Tout est donné gratuitement.
Everything is given freely.
Et pourtant,
But still,
on n'en prend pas partout.
we don't take advantage of it.
On passe tellement
We
de
spend so much time,
temps. Et tous,
all of us.
c'est pas un jugement.
It's not a
On
judgment.
passe tellement de
We
temps
spend so much time
à ne pas cultiver notre relation avec
not cultivating our relationship with Krishna. Why?
parce que
Because
l'énergie
the material
matérielle
energy
a un pouvoir
has a power
tellement puissant.
so powerful
On oublie Krishna.
to make us forget Krishna.
On peut passer notre vie
We can spend our
à
whole
oublier
life to forget Krishna.
Govinda Maharaj,
Govinda Maharaj,
il parlait hier d'un des
he was
discours
speaking yesterday about a pastime
où les pâtres avaient entendu
where
parler
the
de
cowherd boys heard that we could forget Krishna, but they did not understand how is that possible to forget
cette
Krishna,
forme de beauté
this form of beauty
et de qualité infinie.
and infinite qualities. How is that possible?
C'est le pouvoir de Maya.
It is the power of Maya.
Elle ensorcelle
She
l'âme
hypnotizes the conditioned
en leur
souls
faisant croire
by making them believe that there's something more important than Krishna. We should
étudier tous les jours,
study every day,
même un petit peu.
even just a little bit.
Et vous allez voir, dès que vous
And you will
allez
see,
lire,
as soon
vous
that
allez
you
ressentir
read,
le bonheur.
you will feel happiness.
Les enfants devraient étudier.
Children should study also. Everyone should study.
Les parents sérieux, ils enseignent
Serious
leurs enfants.
parents, they teach their
Les parents qui
children.
sont pas sérieux, ils laissent faire leurs enfants.
Those who are not sincere, they let their children do anything and everything.
De connaissances spirituelles.
So they need spiritual knowledge. It's important.
Qu'est-ce que vont devenir nos enfants?
What our children will become with otherwise.
On est responsable
We are responsible
de les éduquer.
to educate
Ils
them.
décident ce qu'ils veulent.
And after they decide what they want. We don't force them,
C'est
but
possible qu'on
but
leur
as much as it is possible, we educate them with transcendental knowledge. It's important we are responsible
Parce que
because
au niveau de la loi du karma,
at the level of on the level of the law of karma, we have debts to
tout le
reimburse.
monde doit faire son devoir.
Everyone must do his duty. It's important.
sans fanatisme,
without fanaticism,
sans forcer,
without forcing,
d'une manière agréable
in a
et belle. C'est
in a
important.
gentle manner and
Et si
beautiful.
on ne peut
But
pas,
if we cannot,
ce ne sera pas de notre faute.
it won't be our fault.
Si on ne peut pas, on doit au moins
If we
donner
cannot,
prachad.
we should at least give prasad.
Et puis voilà,
And
chacun est libre de faire
each
comme
is
il veut.
free to go wherever he wants.
Mais
But
c'est tellement dommage.
it's so
Pourquoi reprendre une
disappointing.
naissance?
Why should we take another birth? Why?
Pour faire quoi?
For to do what?
Recommencer.
To start over
Vous
again?
avez envie
You
de
have
refaire
you want
reprendre une
to
naissance?
take birth again?
Pourquoi tu as envie pour refaire des études pendant
Do
10
you
ans?
want to
Pourquoi tu
study
veux
for
faire
10 years again in your next life?
on s'attache à des trucs
We
qui
attach
complètement
ourselves
insignifiants.
to things that are
Il n'y a
so
tellement pas de goût dans ce
insignificant.
monde, on est obligé de faire des choses qui
There's no taste in
on
this world, so we're
apprend quelque
obligated to
chose
do
qu'on
so
va
many
oublier dans la
things.
prochaine vie.
We do something we'll
C'est
forget
dingue,
in our
quoi.
next life. It's crazy.
Pourquoi
Why
pas
not
prendre du temps,
taking time
s'immerger pour
to
comprendre qui nous
absorb
sommes
ourselves to
éternellement?
understand who we are eternally?
C'est grave l'énergie
The
matérielle.
material energy
Elle ensorcelle tellement
is
les gens.
so hard.
C'est
It
inconscient.
hypnotizes people so deeply. It's inconceivable.